I mean, a lot of it just boils down to stupidity, and my
Why are you
own
talking about Jim like
stupidity.
that? Especially now that we've just gone live.
My
It's
own
all right.
stupidity.
Hey, hello everybody. We are live. I just wanted to thank you guys for being here. Let me get some of the housekeeping out of the way before we get going. It looks like Latoya from Lake to Land Aquatics was the first one in, quickly followed by Whip's World. Hey, Whip, thanks for being in here. Jody P, thank you for dropping in. And
And
Jim,
thank you
thank
for
you for
Jim for
dropping out.
dropping out.
Where did he go? The pills must have kicked in.
he'll he'll be back.
He'll be back, I guess
Yeah.
so. But I wait for Jim to get back now because I can't speak ill of him if he's not here. That would not be
Dang.
right.
It
He's not
takes
here to
all of
defend
the
himself.
fun out of the job.
You must have had a glass of milk like you were talking about.
Yeah. Don't do it. Stay away from
There
dairy.
he is.
Good old internet, man. My internet dropped out.
Oh, yeah, that's what we'll
Came
call
right
it.
back quick though.
Yeah, is that why the shoe went flying by as the internet went out?
Oh, I'm the only one home.
Chunkla target practice.
Yeah, the chancla flew drive.
Yeah, I'm the only
Jim
one
had to
here,
do the
so we're good.
Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah, ain't no matrix out of my ass. My hip quit.
Trinity? Is that you?
Yeah, bro, my hip pops out. We're in trouble.
Oh,
Well, I've seen there's enough YouTube videos that show you how to pop in joints. So we'll just get out there.
Oh,
We'll send Tommy out there to
oh,
pull on that leg.
oh
not
my
this one,
God.
baby. This one has to. If I pop these out, they have to be surgically put back in.
Oh, are you bragging about being the Bionic Man? Is that what you're doing on this live stream?
No, hell no.
If you do it, I'll do it.
He's the $2 Bionic Man.
You go bionic, I'll get a bionic finger.
I,
That way I can
I love
flip people off with both hands again.
you know
All
what
right.
though, man? You can
Yeah.
imaginarily, you can take that finger that's not there, and you can flick them off, and they would never know. Because I know you can still feel that finger.
Well, he can always
Oh
say
yeah.
read between the lines.
Yeah. Aha!
Which line? It's blurred.
All right. Well, enough of us goofing off. Not that I don't think the live stream is going to be any different than this, but anyways, I just wanted to, thank everybody that's showing up. People are still coming in. Um, Thank you guys, both of you, for accepting to come on today. Jim, I really was under the impression I had already had you on one of my live streams. We've been on so many different live streams that I could have sworn you had been on there until when you said something, it didn't settle well with me, and I went back and looked, and I said, "Holy smoke, he's right." I thought you were just messing with me when you said it,
I've
but I
had you on
looked and I
mine
said,
twice.
"Yeah," and I was like, "No," but I've been on a live stream with Jim before.
You've been on a lot of
But
live streams with me.
yeah, well,
Maybe that's
that's
why
why
it
I was
seems like that. Because I thought you
yeah
had too on your channel. Yeah.
I was positive. I was like, yeah, no, we've been. What's he talking about? Why is he being a little, little flake about it? And sure enough, I'm glad I didn't say nothing and called you out on it at that moment because then I would have had to been apologizing for saying something, calling you on something that was true.
He'd have been
But
sending you screenshots all night of all of your videos. Where's mine? Where's mine,
yeah,
mofo? Where's mine? No.
I don't see
he
Jim
would have sent
anywhere.
me. He would have sent me the milk carton with the picture of him missing on it.
I'd have got my oh, I can't even think of it. My Photoshop on.
Yeah. Channel missing instead of child missing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, let's get into this, and I'm sure it's going to be more of this, anyways. But why don't we start off by you guys introducing yourselves? And I know you guys have individual channels, but you guys also have a channel together. So if you want to start off, Tommy, and then let Jim introduce himself, and then we'll get into the project you guys are working on together.
Sweet, yeah. My name is Tommy. I am y'all's resident alien and most of the time ignoramus. Here to insult you and salute you at the same time. I do have multiple channels. I only have one running on YouTube, but it's not my channel. My YouTube channel is actually Jim's and Jesse's as well. So I don't have an individual YouTube channel anymore. That's it. Just
What was it
the
before though? So for those that might come across some of the old,
before
is
it
any of that old
was
content in there, or did it all get whacked out?
Resident Alien 86. There's some content on that somewhere, but I lost the login for it, and I'm just too lazy
How
to.
about Silver Creek? Is that still
That is
available?
completely gone.
Oh, that is.
Silver Creek's Wildlife, Silver Creek Aquatics. That one is completely gone. It is disassembled, dismembered, smelted, and molded into and branched out to multiple different things. And like that proverbial goldfish that you bury in your garden under a tree to grow forever. That's Silver Creek Aquatics and Wildlife for me.
Well, I
But
kind of wanted to talk about it because people might go, "Oh, where did I recognize Tommy from?" So that
yeah,
not everybody knows that you've gone through a few phases of your YouTube career.
yeah, there was so much that I've wanted to do. I was there's a lot of people out there, and I think I probably even said it at one point at a low point. That everything's been done. There's nothing left, and I'm just sitting here with like this notebook next to me of ideas of different things to go over. Because I was like, piss on this. I'm writing them down. I was like, I have people will just like randomly call me and start talking about wanting to come out with a video, and we'll just go through it. They'll give me like a basic idea on what they're wanting to do, and I'm like, oh dude, you got to do this, you got to add this, oh add this in there for that, and blah blah blah. And I give off all of these other ideas, but I never really do any of them myself. So some of them that I've given to other people that they didn't run with it. I was like, okay, it's been like months and months. They're not doing it. I'm going to do it. So that's how the Rumble channel mostly started, because it was just like nobody is willing to talk about other things outside of the hobby. So I was like, okay, here's all the weird side of my mind and how it functions. Let's break into that. So that's essentially what the Rumble channel is, but it's really interesting over there because I have 3 different channels all on the same name.
Oh, okay.
But well, they're not the same name, but they're under the same channel. They're all connected to
Okay.
one
There's sub
entity.
channels to the main
Yes,
channel.
there's sub channels too. So there's the Resident Alien 86, which is where Jim and I do our podcast. Then there's just Resident Alien, which is me and my random stuff, but I don't really mess around with it as much. And then all of my animal, fish content, anything like that is on Resident Animals. No
Okay.
spaces in any of the names. So that's where all of my fish content and stuff goes. Outside of the Aquatic News Network. So any type of fish related thing that could be beneficial on that's educational, I'm going to be putting on that channel. So I'm going to go through just like a lot of other people, different types of filtration, those videos like that. But I am vowing before you now to make them much more interesting and much more appealing to listen to for everybody. So that is the goal, is to break down barriers and still be funny and have a little satire, but it be funny for everybody, something that everybody can laugh at. So,
All right.
but
Well, Jim,
yeah,
do you mind kind of telling us a little bit about yourself and what you got going on?
First of all, episode 38 of Mexicali Fish Keeper is Happy Place Aquatics, by the way.
I knew it.
I went looking while Tommy was talking. I couldn't remember if it was your channel or mine that you were on more than once.
I could have started, but I'm glad. I mean, it's not a. I'm now I feel even better that I got both of you guys on as your current project and not having, not using this as an excuse to have you on, Jim. Because I could have sworn I'm pretty good about recalling who I've had on, so I was like, I'm almost positive, but I didn't want to bet on it because I couldn't find it. I went back looking, but I looked real quick. I mean, I was looking, and I knew your thumbnail was the old style before I started doing the current one. Just couldn't come across it, so I was wondering maybe I did skip them, but oh, okay. Well, at least you you settled
I
that.
looked while Tommy was talking. I'm like, let me take a peek so I don't look like a horse's ass. Anyway, my name is Jim. I have Happy Place Aquatics on YouTube. Also do the Aquatic News Network. Sorry, had to.
Not formerly known as Trash Can Jim.
Oh no, I am not Trash Can Jim. That is not me. We also have I have a Rumble channel, Happy Place Aquatics, and I also have one that me and you actually talked about, along with me. I think it was me, you, and Aquafunk talked about me doing something with cars.
Oh, okay.
I have Jim's cars on Rumble. It's got
Oh,
one video
nice.
up. I have the vehicle to start the whole project that I'm going to do there. But first, we'll talk about the aquarium side. Um, I keep a large number of fish, from things that are that big to things that are that big. Um,
That's what she said.
yeah, exactly. The most recent venture is the Aquatic News Network, which is slightly out of my comfort zone, but I will get there,
Yes.
baby.
Mission
You got,
accomplished.
you
That was
got
the goal.
you that last one. You actually got me with the love of an actual fish that's near and dear to my heart. You know what I mean? It's the one that brought me into the hobby.
Hmm.
Um, I appreciate doing that. Venture with Tommy and Jesse. And I think that the three of us are going to make that channel huge, along with the other people we bring in along the way. Um, as far as the YouTube side for me, I have actually been focusing on both Rumble and YouTube. Uh, More Rumble than YouTube. It does stream on YouTube, so I guess I don't really get the watch time hours as much as I should. So I may have to break up and do a couple of different streams. The ultimate goal is to get monetized, obviously, on YouTube. The Rumble side, however, I am going to focus a little more on, because I have actually made more money faster on Rumble than I have on YouTube.
Same.
So, and I'm pretty sure that when the Cars series takes off, that one's going to get big quick, because you're going to see the whole entire disassembly of a car from
Okay.
start to finish.
Oh.
That's a little bit
Yeah.
about me, and I'm
All right.
half-assed right now.
I got a 2002 Suburban I can donate to you to do a video on a transmission.
I can rebuild that
What is
train.
it, the L64E
4L60E.
or 4L60E? Yeah. I'm not dyslexic.
Me neither.
Not at all.
Yeah. So that's I'm I
Oh,
really
and
want
I
to
did
bring you
forget
guys
about the
on.
Resident Alien. I forgot about that. Shit.
Oh, what's that? Oh,
I am
the Rumble
I am
show.
part of the Alien and Me podcast.
Yes. Which is
So
what this is the reason why you also came on. Both of you guys came on today, was talk a little bit about that experience, what that's been like, and also the reasoning why you guys chose Rumble, because I'm kind of curious about that. And I know some other people um, have looked at it, and I know there's some people that get contentious about it, and they don't think it's a smart move. But who's to say it isn't? It's obviously working for the both of you guys, because you guys have, we have conversations, and I know you guys from the very beginning were saying that I should go over there too. I've kind of looked at it, but
Be a
as it is, I
pioneer.
don't have as it is, I don't have time to do my own content on YouTube, much less try to do stuff for Rumble. But
You just save
I'm
it and transfer it to Rumble as well.
yeah, I'm already doing that across the Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Oh.
But
Well,
with
see,
those,
if
it's a
you would
lot
just get
easier to
rid of
do shorts.
TikTok.
Yeah, it's just I've I think I've only done one live on TikTok, and it was pretty interesting. I think for people that are really looking, that are real serious about helping out beginners, TikTok
Hmm.
is probably the best platform for that if you go live. Because the day that I went live on there, I had so many questions that were from a lot of people that were interested, that were either had just gotten into the hobby or were thinking about getting into the hobby. And I don't know how TikTok pushes your content when you go live, but I was getting people, not just like fish people, it was just in general. I think it was kind of like what the vertical does for YouTube, where people are just kind of zooming through, and based on what you got going on in the screen, they might stop and talk.
Hmm.
And so at the time, I had where my fish room was set up the other way, the old way, now where I normally would sit, so they could see all the aquariums behind me. And so they were just stopping in. They were curious. They were wondering about how many aquariums and stuff like that. So I mean, I know people just kind of frown upon new platforms and go, "Oh my God, this is another one." You might be surprised uh, how different it might be from what you're currently experiencing. And
Right.
if you guys that way, why don't we just lead into what the reasoning behind you guys going to Rumble and what that's been like?
I can tell you one of the reasons that I think we joined, got together and made this happen on Rumble, is we were going more for where we didn't have to water ourselves down, if that makes sense. Some of the subjects that we talk about are very weird,
So we
controversial.
could be our true
We
colors.
wanted a platform to where we could be us and not have to sugarcoat us. You know what I mean? Because we've had conversations on the phone.
Even the
I got a
manic
mouth like
side of us.
I have got a mouth like a trucker. Okay, I've said that before. You guys, if you ever meet me in person, you're going to get the same gym. My mouth is just going to be a little fouler. That's basically what it is. I mean, not saying all the time we're over there dropping f bombs, talking a mass amount of trash, but the
We
majority of
did
the
in the first
time,
few.
yeah, the majority of the time we are talking about a subject that YouTube would definitely flag and not let us post.
Yeah,
And that's
it's
really what it was. It wasn't so much the language. I don't think that was the issue. It's I
It's
think
freedom of
more of the
speech.
topics. It's the topics that you guys want to talk about because there unfortunately there's a lot of stuff that um, was getting restricted on YouTube. There was like taboo things you couldn't say, words that if you said would automatically flag, and I think they still do. I don't know to what extent, but I don't know if that's changed or not. And I know that was one of the reasons why let me start off by saying that I got to be a guest on one of your guys' very beginning of what you guys were
hmm
doing on Rumble, which was really cool because we
yeah.
got to talk about you know politics, religion, whatever you wanted to talk, and it was not a problem. And so you get to when you go to Tommy's and Jim's podcast and you have a guest, you get to see a completely different side of the guest that they have on. Because in reality, there's no restrictions, there's no prejudice as to what you're saying, what you can say or can't say. There's just you get to be who you are, and Tommy and Jim do a very good job of allowing you to say what it is you need to say, and they don't necessarily have to agree with you or any of that stuff. But it's
Mm.
just a conversation. It's the conversations that you wish you could have, maybe on a platform like this. But that you know the moderators of this will not allow it to happen.
Yeah, and one of the big points that you hit on, um, the language, not just about using a foul mouth or anything like that, but I wanted to add to that your any language that you use in chat isn't taken out either. You can't just like on YouTube, you can't just click on somebody's name and report them. You can't just block them from right there. If you actually want to block somebody from your channel or from you seeing them, you have to go through your account through like you would on YouTube to unblock somebody. It's like the same process just to be able to block somebody on it. But by then, I mean, you're still not blocking what they said, in the stream or whatever. So it gives that opportunity as well, which unfortunately, yes, there is, some trolls out there in certain streams that say horrible things, stupid shit all the time. But it's not everywhere, and it hasn't been in any of the streams that we've done so far. We did find a guy that really has some a little bit more than mildly strange attraction to gloves.
That's on my stream on YouTube.
Yeah.
Sam Gloves. Sam loves gloves.
Yeah, Sam loves gloves. So that's probably the most colorful, interesting character that we've encountered on there so far.
We do
But
got that one guy that's got a lot of hatred for California. He
for
does have a lot of
commies,
hatred.
yes, he came over from one of the political streams from Jeff Mack. Shout out to that dude. Happy freedom, y'all.
Uh, Now on those on that podcast, just so that people are kind of aware if they're interested in checking it out. Do you guys ever talk about like fish related stuff, or it's just
Oh yeah.
everyday life stuff? What are if you can give people a little bit of insight as to what are usually the topics that you guys will discuss there and that kind of stuff?
So the majority of our the beginning of it, our main focus was what our channel name is, aliens. So we started
Okay.
out with aliens. We've got into big pharma, big foods. Um, I mean, we dug into Area 51. We dug into a gentleman named Bob Lazar,
Mm.
which was probably one of our best streams ever.
And
You know, there's
I think both of our favorite streams still to date.
yeah. I mean, that was a good one. I mean, we have talked about fish. There's not much we really haven't touched on.
Yeah.
Now, from what I
Oh,
read,
there's still a lot, but there's a lot of rabbit holes and a lot
Yeah.
of conspiracies and a lot of weird happenings in the world, and you know, and more coverage and more stories are coming out en masse, especially like regarding the JFK thing, which has been something that we're definitely covering as well. I really don't see the actual information on all of that being released until after tax season. There's been a couple of fake releases of it, and who was it? The Guardian that actually had put new release from White House on JFK files, a new 3,800 documents found here. Click this link, and it's Rick Astley. Never gonna give you up.
We've been rickrolled, baby.
Yeah, they pulled the ultimate Rickroll on all of the JFK people, and it was beautiful. I'm no hate for it, but yeah, it's gonna be a little while before that one comes out. But yeah, I mean, there's so many different topics to go over on it, and a lot of them that we keep revisiting and keep having to revisit because we didn't even get anywhere close to the bottom of it. Our mind either hadn't been changed or hasn't been changed enough, or we're still on the fence about something. So we still kind of go through that, and we'll even do audience suggestions as well. So people in the chat, they can throw out suggestions for a rabbit hole that we go down, or something that we put some study into when we do a different type, more of the podcast style live stream instead of the rabbit hole, where it's just a freaking bucket dump of information into your brain about one particular subject. But man, I love it. I love being able to do that. And
Yeah, and that's what I kind of want you guys to touch up a little bit on, so that people don't get the misconception that when you guys are talking about the freedom of talk, that it's not necessarily trashing on people. It's subjects
Correct.
that are tabooed sometimes on YouTube.
right,
That's really what I was trying. Yeah, that's what I wanted you
specifically
guys
like
to
the
elaborate
big
on.
pharma episode.
Yeah.
The episode that I did on big pharma and big food. YouTube people on YouTube aren't going to want that, and the people that are posting stuff like that on YouTube, I mean, they're getting flagged for it. They're not. It's not being pushed out there unless they're paying to push it out there, and even then, I'm sure it's probably still being limited to who gets to see it. But I wouldn't dream of being able to do that one without, especially with what I was doing on YouTube, without being cast with a bunch of different labels that I'd already had been cast upon me throughout my life. But whatever, to each their own. But
Our
it's
first couple episodes weren't even on Rumble.
no, they were on Twitch.
Twitch.
I think Twitch and then StreamYard on one of them. Yeah, the
So
first
what
one was
the-
Twitch.
What was
and
the
then I
switch
think
from? Why did you leave Twitch to go to Rumble? What was more appealing about Rumble?
You have instant monetization on Rumble. Your video automatically gets thrown out there with Rumble Premium. You pay for it. It's instant monetization. You don't need 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers. You can have one subscriber, pay your monthly, and then gone. You're put into their algorithm. You get paid per 1,000 views, I think, or is it hundreds of views? 500 views is when it starts. You start getting paid per video.
100. Oh yeah, 100 followers is like your first milestone to get pushed up. But yeah,
Yes.
There's a bunch of so here's the thing. There's a bunch of different programs that Rumble actually has, and it's all based on what you do and how much time that you spend on it. If you are the person that goes live every day, which there are people like that out there, and they even go live multiple times a day to cover different things, Rumble is definitely the spot for you. They've got a program where if you're doing 30 hours a month, which if you just do one stream a day for an hour, you've hit that, and you
Hey,
get a
real
day
quick,
off.
I got to
Yeah.
chime in real quick. Jesse, happy birthday, brother.
Oh, happy birthday, bruh.
Hey,
Bruh.
happy birthday, Jim. I mean, Jim, Jesse. Almost did an
Man.
aquafunk.
Dude, I hope you're having an awesome one. Cheers, man.
He's
He's
working.
probably at
isn't he?
work.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I work my birthday. What's the point of staying home?
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, 30 hours puts you into a boosted program on Rumble where you are that like instantly gets you pushed right on the main screen. So when people go into Rumble to see who's live, yours is in within that value of it. You also get put into a different payment scale on it as well. You start and it's about the same as YouTube with how much money it takes out. It's about the same. But like I said, the more you do, there's other programs as well, not just the amount of hours, but like the amount of views and the amount of content I think that you put out can put you in different ones as well. They do allow shorts, but if y'all aren't a short centric person when it comes to videos, that's also a place for you. You can't even have a video monetized on Rumble if it's not at least 1 minute long. And there are not a lot of 1 minute long videos on Rumble.
So it caters
Short
to the
form
longer,
content is
longer
not.
form content.
Yes, it is much more for information gathering. I mean, there's something for everybody on it. It's gotten so big now. I mean, there's viral videos that are coming off of Rumble already and making it into the mainstream. Oh, I mean, it is mainstream still, but even news publications and stuff are using it as well. But yeah, there's so many different ways to make money on it. It's crazy.
Like if you've been on my streams when I'm doing my stream, or even on the Alien and Me podcast, you'll see us do like those little segments of a commercial. We actually get paid on that, which is another thing that is like fantastic. Um, the larger
Per
the
viewer.
amount of per
You
viewer
get
too.
per viewer. So if you're one of those streams that usually has, a couple few hundred people watching, every viewer that's in there, you get paid X amount per person
viewer.
that sees that in that video or in that live. So yeah, that's
So
pretty
that helps
sweet.
a lot. And then you have people who can buy subscriptions, you know what I mean, or become channel members like YouTube. They can do, like Tommy said, they can do rants, things of that
Rants, yeah.
nature. I mean, that all
Get your
goes
super
to
chat.
it's like a super chat. I mean, it goes right to us. I mean, we do get a percentage of it taken out like YouTube does, but I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's still a majority of us coming to us. I mean, it's honestly not a bad platform to go on. I don't have to worry about getting smacked with a copyright for, if music and a video is, a touchy subject. I don't have to worry about
all the chintzy little copyright things that people get on there. Oh, there's
Yeah.
3.5 seconds of a clip of a sound that was in a video that I did 15 years ago.
like we did the
I'm
one
flipping you off.
episode.
You just can't see it.
Like
but I'm
that
doing
one,
it.
like that one podcast we did, Tommy, when we had the guy with the Timu hat and the Timu knife.
Yeah. Oh my God.
We had the
What was
Timu.
that?
We
They
had
were looking for the Yeti or no, the ice
ice
gnomes.
gnomes.
The ice
Yeah.
gnomes of Alaska. Good God.
We had the Timu Captain Jack Sparrow on there. It was
Oh
hilarious.
my Lord.
We got flagged for that on YouTube,
Oh, okay.
so we don't stream to
Because
YouTube
their
anymore.
look was so distinct that when we played it on Rumble, when you switch over from YouTube to Rumble, it still shows your Rumble stream, but it's blurred out in green and then has the Rumble emblem with your channel on it. If you want to watch the rest of this stream and be able to hear it, go to this channel on Rumble. Their look was so distinct you could make it out through the blurring that they put on there. Like there was no way of, oh yeah, that was Timu Hat dude or Timu Knife and Timu Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, but yet I didn't get hit for the SNL skits that I played on mine, like the entire skits, like
Yeah.
7, 8 minutes of them.
Yeah, and we did. You did what? Three of those skits on there.
Uh-huh.
That's insane. When I was doing before I switched my YouTube channel over to the Aquatic News Network, I had done a couple cross streams from Rumble to YouTube, um, and I like to reference what I'm talking about a lot now. So if I'm talking about something, I want to bring it up and show people what we're talking about, or overly describe it for people that are just listening. And when you do that, especially if it's in video form, like if you're referencing something that happened in somebody's video, you can show a clip of that video and do a reactionary moment to it, and it be counted as a reactionary moment. There's no like weird tiptoeing through the tulips on it where they're going to try to, mess with it and copyright it. I mean, it's on the internet. It's on the internet. It's bringing publicity to other people as well. It's not, if it's obviously not something like you're using this to build your own, like using somebody else's video to build your own following.
Yeah.
If it's obviously not something like that, you're not going to get copyrighted for it on Rumble.
Okay.
If you're just like paying an homage or something like that, or wanting to reference something and then shouting the person out, which I do, like I'll let people know each time this came from this channel. Hey y'all, thanks for being on here. Thanks for being on Rumble and bringing that content to us, so that way we can check it out as well. So, and we've had no issues on Rumble, but all of them that I did that on the YouTube side, every one of them got copyrighted. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. But there's less of a worry there. So if you're wanting to do reactionary or have any type of reactionary styling in your videos at all, it's going to be great for that. It doesn't have to be, and I'm not saying our channel is a reactionary channel, but I like to reference what we're talking about, especially since a lot of it covers a bunch of weird stuff that's out there. And it's like, what ice
you want
gnomes
to
of
show the clip as
Alaska?
to
So
what
it's
you're-
like, this is what we're talking about with the ice gnomes of Alaska. We're just as bewildered as you. So let's watch this and see if we can figure out what the heck is going on here. So it's more laid out like that.
I swear to God, when we got into the ice gnome portion of that, it turned into a comedy relief.
Oh Jesus! It turned into Mystery Science Theater 3000. I mean, 100%.
She just got home from work.
We were making fun of everything and everybody, and I think we even at one point, and we could like try to count who got laid the most on that segment or whatever, and maybe determined that none of them did ever.
Well, we got somebody saying that Tommy feeds his fish beetles and I feed my fish cat food.
Oh,
Jesse,
yeah.
gotta love
Beetles
it.
are great, man.
Mine like a dung beetle.
I actually know a breeder that does feed cat food. As a matter of fact, it's even got a jingle, the company of the cat food. He literally feeds them that. It comes in little pouches, and that's what he gives them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep. I've seen people do it, especially people that are just like keeping like koi or some type of carp in a pond. You'll see that a lot.
They love it.
If it's not, some line bred or
oh no, this guy's line breeding guppies. He's in
wow.
Argentina, but it was. I remember he was on a live stream with us when I was doing the Spanish ones, and one of the questions was what was he feeding his guppies? And he showed us the bag of this well-known cat food, and it was
yellow
like,
bag.
yeah. it goes by the name of these. And
You
I
know
was
what's
like,
funny?
what?
I feed mine old Roy,
Your fish?
my
Gravy
Oscar.
train. That's
Oh,
how
your
we get our
Oscars?
tannins in our tank. We use gravy train.
Well, I mean, if you probably look at the backside of the
That was a
ingredients,
good
it's probably
joke.
no different than what you're feeding your fish. I mean, except the only thing instead of being fish meal, it might be like beef meal, which is at
Or
the end of the day, it's just the
chicken or
skins,
other
the
fish.
yeah, it's just the feathers or the skin or whatever it is. It's
The foot,
whatever. Yeah.
foot knuckles, part of their
So,
beak.
So apparently
Is
I'm
that a
echoing.
beak? That's definitely a beak. My food's trying to peck me.
so how long have you guys been on Rumble now?
6 months.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a little bit longer than that.
I think it's 6 months.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
been
it's
about
6 months.
months.
6, 7 months.
Now, how are you? Do you guys have enough of a? Well, because it's not really a fish community channel. It's more of a whatever. Well, I guess it would be more conspiracy and aliens kind of topics, right?
Well, we talk about fish on it too, especially if we run out of things to talk about. So like that show ends up becoming a marathon show. So we may cover what the topic is for, like the first hour and a half, 2 hours, and then it's like, okay, we've pretty much like run out of everything with that. So let's talk about what's going on with our fish now. So I mean, a lot of times it will get into that, and we've even done some like underwater conspiracies, and we even with you and with Jesse coming in with the common fish room conspiracies and fish hobby conspiracies and mistruths and unguided truths and half truths about the industry that are out there as well. So I mean, we cover stuff about the hobby or related to the hobby. I'd say what, probably about at least once a month, maybe twice a month.
Roughly.
We'll cover something along that, or at the end of the stream, it'll be that the
So
last hour or so.
how much of your audience is people that have followed you over from YouTube that know you two guys, and how much of it is new that you guys have kind of garnered over the time being down there for 6 months?
Not quite half of it is from YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, we got more Rumble followers than YouTube followers, I believe.
Yeah, it's
That's
a whole
like
different
me.
set of people, which I
Yeah.
think is great because, and that's one of the reasons that I definitely appreciate the people from YouTube coming over to that side too, is because not only do we get to be introduced to a whole new platform and a whole new side of people that have some type of interest in whatever the hell it is that you're going to be talking about, it builds you and the rest of the community up as well. Like we get people from completely different sides that come into the chats on Rumble, like our commie hating friend. You say anything that sounds commie at all, I mean, you're gonna be called out as a red star commie like it's freaking 1965, you know.
Hey, Noisy. Rumble was founded in 2013 by Chris Pavlinsky as an alternate to YouTube for independent vloggers and small content creators.
Yep.
Was not made for
Well,
gaming. Twitch was made
that's
for
what.
gaming.
Yeah.
There is a lot of gaming on Rumble, but there's a lot of gaming on all of it.
Yeah.
It's now getting to the point finally. In the beginning, Rumble, yeah, a lot of it. If you were going through like trying to find your secondary topic and main topic about what it is to for them to know what category to put the video under, it, a lot of it was gaming involved, and there is a lot of gaming involved stuff, but there's just as much or not just as much, but there's way more other stuff on there now as well. Like they didn't even have like cute and funny animals as a category to be able to put your stuff under on there until here recently. They didn't have UFOs or UAPs as a category to put your videos under until about what 3-4 months ago.
Yep.
So I mean, there new categories are popping up as interest. The more interest that pops up in these areas, the categories will follow with that.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
also Rumble makes other creators a little nervous.
A lot of
Like it's
them
another
have this
platform. They're a
placated
little
idea that
leery.
it's the yeah, they think it's the Trump channel or whatever when it's not. It's
Yeah,
not
that's
Truth
Truth
Social.
Social.
Yeah.
If
Mm.
you hate Trump, you're hating the wrong place.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely not Truth Social. So
Yeah. Now, there is the side that since it is free speech, everybody can say what they want. When you're looking at information or going down information trails on that, you don't know if it's something that just somebody just made up or if it's been cross-referenced or not. But I mean, who just watches one video on a subject when you're
A
learning about
lot of
something and
people.
that's
A lot
y'all
of
are
people,
doing it
unfortunately.
wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And
Cross-reference everything.
that was a conversation that I was having with who was it? I think it was Skeptical Aquatics, and that people unfortunately will look at the very first information that comes across and they take it at face value and not bother looking at another two or three sources to see if there's a consistency with the information or inconsistency with that matter of fact.
Just like with fish keeping, exactly.
Yeah,
You're
well,
not going to
that's
take one person's. None of us, even in the tight little circles and the cliques that are within, all of FishTube throughout of whatever it is, you may ask one buddy, hey, give me some advice on this, and then you're going to ask five other people for the same advice too. You're not just looking for one person's advice when it comes to fish keeping. Don't look for one person's advice when it comes to anything else ever, like ever.
okay. Yeah, that's a whip. Just that's what it was. You know, and it was a conversation that
Oh, with Sean.
with
Yeah.
Sean that we were having about that. It's just unfortunate, and it seems it's. I don't want to sound like an asshole, but it seems like it's a generational thing because I think from our generation and older, we're used to looking at different sources for our answers. I think it's the younger generation that they don't want to bother with it. They just want to be able to get the information right now, go with what they find, and that's it.
Trust
And
everything.
unfortunately,
Trust everything you see on the internet. All of it is truth. You will not second guess Big Brother.
so I don't know if it's because we come from a more skeptical background, and I don't know if
That's
it was
I
a cultural thing.
I think that's exactly what it is. I think you hit the nail on the head with that. A more skeptical upbringing or skeptical background.
Well,
you
I
know,
really think what it is a lot of us are from the generation where the internet did not exist. So you had to rely on the newspaper, on the news, on journals,
books, books,
exactly. That's what,
knowledge.
to be able to get information.
Pornographic magazines.
Well, and then I remember growing up, you had to do term papers in high school, so you had to do research, and that's where you
Yeah.
learn how to do research because they wanted multiple sources. I
Learn
don't
how to
know.
use a card catalog at a library, for instance.
Yeah, I don't know if in today's education system that's still the current thing because unfortunately, even if it is, most kids will use the advent of AI and try to just plagiarize what's on there and present it as a source of information. But
Source of
it
credible
was
information. I can tell you firsthand that if you are trying to just get information off of AI, you are not going to get correct information. There is
Not at all.
so much information that I've dove in because I use it. I use AI to
well
help. It's one of the
from what I,
cross references that I use on things
from
along
what I
with.
understand, AI the only source it has for gathering information is what's on the internet. It's not creating new information.
Right,
So
right.
if there's bad source on the internet, it's going to take that as
It's gonna
being
pull it too. Yep,
yeah, it's going to
yep.
pull that too. So that's where it's
Again,
important.
why I say cross reference everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't just trust Wikipedia on things too, because some
Exactly.
people
Well,
are credible enough on that to be able to change Wikipedia, and there's some crappy people out there. So
it's open source, so anything
yeah,
that's open source anybody can go in there and
yep,
make it
and that's
sound
one
good
of the
enough
point.
and
That's
true.
that's a good way to put it. That's the word I was looking for Rumble to explain it. It's more like an open source. So yeah, you can find your answer. You can definitely find the answer that you're looking for. You may have to weed through a couple of videos to do it, though.
That's like when I just did my segment on the electric blue Akara. There's not a lot of information out there that's available like that. You
That
actually
was
have to dig.
beautiful.
I mean, you have to do some digging to find out that that fish wasn't big in the hobby until 2009. Previous to that, it didn't exist.
Now,
You
was
know,
that
it,
was that an accidental cross or
that was
was it
intentional. They
intentional?
were trying to create a new breed of fish, and they
Okay.
created the electric blue
From two completely different
from
species.
two
Yeah, because
completely different species.
I thought you said it was German blue rams and Akaras. Is that correct,
Electric
Christopher?
blue
Yeah,
ram and the natural blue Akara.
Electric. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
The
So
electric
It's
they
blue.
still the Microgephagus
Yeah.
yes,
ramazeri.
they're still in the same
Ramirez.
like genre of fucking fish.
Yeah.
Excuse my French, but they would never breed in the wild
You do
or
what to fish?
your mom. But you you can't take a guppy and breed it with an Oscar. I mean, it's just not going to happen. It'd be a cool fish, but it's not going to happen. So you had to have a fish farm and some people that are really good at what they do, biologists, scientists, things of that nature, to make that happen. And everybody's like, "Oh no, that's a natural fish." No, it's not. I'm sorry. I hate to
Yeah.
break everybody's heart, but it is not a natural fish. They kept half of them. They set the other half loose. That's how it
Well,
became natural.
I think the reality is a good percentage of the fish that we really appreciate in the hobby today are not necessarily, you won't find them naturally in the wild. They've been either selectively bred or crossbred with other species of fish to try to enhance certain traits in them.
Yes.
Guppies are a perfect example of that. It's a hybrid of endlers and guppies to create these variations that you see today. You're not going to find these fancy guppies. Well, that's not true because they get released accidentally into the wild. But I know we were talking.
Outside of unethical reasons.
One of the conversations we were having prior to coming on was, you suggesting that I go out and collect in our natural waterways, and that's what we were talking about. I said, yeah, I do have. I was able to collect wild, well,
Oh,
wild type mollies. I have apparently two different
oh, I
species
can't
of
do it.
gambusia, and I happen to have a tilapia, blue tilapia that's also from our local waterway. As far as
Yeah,
darters and stuff like that, I don't. It's too hot for us to have darters. I mean,
yeah.
it
You'd have
would
to
be
put
a
them
very
inside.
yeah. No, even outside, our waterways
No,
are warm.
inside.
No, he's talking
No,
about in
no,
the
Oh,
wild.
your tap
yeah, in the
water,
wild.
your
No, not the
groundwater.
tap
Yeah.
water. I'm talking about the water in the rivers and the waterways.
It's too
Because a lot
warm
of
for him.
yeah, it's going to be way too warm for them. We don't have that. I mean, Colorado River at the beginning of in Colorado might be very cold water, but down here it's gone thousands of miles, and it's going through the hottest part of the country too. So when it gets down to us, so the temperatures, although there's still be like in the 60s maybe in the deeper sides of it, but it's still not as cold as it would be from the springs that it's coming from, where you would find these species.
You
Oh,
know,
he's got
I
a
uh, I've went and bought some mud guppies from a fish store. His feeder, your feeder guppies,
mhm.
and I threw a whole. I mean, I threw Endler live bears in there. I threw what is those? Like the really like 10 karat gold ones or whatever.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Some of those in
The
there.
golden.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've thrown probably 5 or 6 different color variations in there, along with the Endlers. And I swear I have some of the prettiest guppies I've ever seen.
The problem is getting them to breed true. That's where the tricky part comes in, and that's why I love when Stephen
Repetitively,
P.
not just
When Steve,
once, but
yeah, when Stephen
repetitively.
P. did his mosh pit, I thought that was one of the coolest things because you got to see all these different colorations and stuff like that. The only downside to that is to be able to replicate it successfully, over and over again. That's where the
Hmm.
challenge becomes, but it can be done. I mean, that's how all these different lines have been created, is because they found certain traits out of a clutch that came out that was different from the other ones, and then it got separated, and introduced to females that had the certain genes that you wanted. It's a
Right.
lot of work. And
Right,
the
and
reason I
some of
know that
them
is
will hold on to those genes. Like they'll genetically, it's part of their coding to look a certain way throughout once they get it. And I think Jim even hit on that with the
Yep.
Akara, how once
yeah.
it does it, you'll always have a certain gene that's prominent within them
So in my
in certain
125,
mixes.
I've got three different species of Acara. I've got the electric blue, the true blue, or the natural blue, and I have the yellow banded. If
We got to
the
get you the smiling now
and the black.
and the black, yeah.
If you take any of those three and the electric Acara, they like intermingle and breed. That natural or the natural blue coloring won't come out, neither will the yellow banded. The electric blue variant is that dominant in the genes that it's going to come out. It's been line bred into them that it will continue without any hesitation.
Yeah. The only thing that I haven't been able to experience yet, and I don't know if that's over several years of breeding like mixed guppies, is I haven't had them revert back to its wild state. 'Cause that's what they say. They say that with guppies and with shrimp, that if you don't call, they will revert back to their natural state. But I haven't seen that. I mean,
Now, I question that. Is that just a broad spectrum anecdotal statement just to say that they'll just go brown
you see, I don't get brown
or
though. My
revert back to
well,
like
okay.
a pale dull colors, brown, silver brown, dull golds, things like that?
I've got silver guppies
With the
with
shrimp,
iridescent coloring.
yeah, I think with the shrimp it does revert back a little bit, but everybody used to say that they would go like a brown color. Mine go clear, almost kind of like
Yeah.
the feeder shrimp.
The
Ghost shrimp?
Kamanos and the
Go
ghost
ghost
shrimp.
shrimp. Yeah, ghost
Yeah.
shrimp.
Ghost shrimp.
But they still keep where the saddle that they have stays like a red dot or a blue dot, whatever the genetics that it's breaking down from. But I mean, I know because I have tons of them where I would just cull them and threw them in a different tank, thinking that the fish would eat them, and they survived.
Right. They're
And
resilient,
now,
man.
oh yeah, yeah, they're you see that's why when I start hearing people, oh, you put them in with tetras, they're gonna eat them. Not necessarily, because if you give them the
They
right
may get a couple
conditions,
of snacks, but you'll have enough shrimp.
yeah,
You
you're
won't
gonna.
even notice.
If you're breeding for profit, I wouldn't recommend you keeping shrimp with any other fish.
Yeah.
If that's your
Separate
goal
tanks,
to
their
breed
own
for profit,
tanks.
no. But if you just want to have more and in a controlled number, put them in with fish. It's just
Yeah.
you're gonna have the stronger ones, and the smarter ones are the ones that are gonna survive.
Sorry about it earlier, by the way. I had a kid issue I had to deal with.
No, that's good. We know you get contacted from
The
what is it,
mothership.
yeah, from the mothership.
That's right. That's right.
You know, we were talking about the color variations and things of that nature. Um, it's very, very true in the African cichlid world with crossbreeding between different ones. Like you could have, say, a red dragon blood mix over with like an OB peacock,
Well,
and you'll
that's what
get
an OB peacock is. It's a hybrid. It's a
correct.
hybridization
But
of a.
or you could have it mixed with a yellow lab, and you'll get some weird looking fish. Well, I happen to have a star sapphire slash, I think it's an actual peacock mix, and these dudes are gorgeous, but nobody wants them because they're not true line bred. You know what I mean? So you got this vibrant blue fish
Because
with like
they'll want
fire
their
orange
babies to
fins.
look identical.
Yeah, I mean you got like this very blue fish with vibrant flaming fins, dude, and they're stunning,
Well,
but nobody wants them.
Do it again with a different pair, and then breed those two pairs together and see if the babies keep coming out the same.
I got something interesting going on. So I met with Price Tag Joe,
Uh huh.
and he gave me a female Venustus. And his female Venustus is holding from my big male that is an hybrid.
Oh.
So we're going to see what happens there. That could get interesting.
Well, the thing is, if you don't play around with that stuff, that's how all these new color
Correct.
variants get discovered. It's it's by hybridizing fish. I mean, I know
Hmm.
some people get like real uppity about it, especially I guess when it comes to like endangered fish like rainbow fish or gudeyans and stuff like that. Yeah, I kind of understand it because there's a limited quantity of them, so you want to keep them as true as possible. That's totally understandable. But like
Hmm.
guppies, or gambusia, if you want to start trying to create a fancy uh, species of that, well, you're going to be playing around with genetics. I mean, that's how all these,
Yeah.
for example, blue pollards are a perfect example of that you get convicts in parrotfish. Now, the parrotfish itself, not the real parrotfish, but the blood parrot, or what do you, I forget what they're called, the one that
Hmm.
you guys had a competition for,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jim. Yeah, those are a hybrid fish. I mean, you start going down the line. Goldfish, goldfish are not, fancy goldfish. They're hybrids.
I got to close
Um,
my back door. It's pouring rain.
so there's a lot of species out there that we tend to forget that they're a hybridization of different species to be able to get the current fish that we have. So,
Hmm.
and
And there's even
unless you
some
play,
of them that we think aren't hybrids and are absolutely hybrids. Some of the tilapia species that people don't understand that their fish are, just tilapia.
hmm.
A lot of those are hybrids of certain types of tilapia, which all go back to a base
Well,
couple
isn't that what African
variants.
cichlids mostly are? They're
Yeah.
they're
Yep. Yep.
they're tilapias.
Yep. Pretty much. So you can
Yeah,
keep cool tilapia and do aquaponics. You have
yeah,
you an African cichlid tilapia tank, then in
yeah.
a huge
What's the
thing
reasoning behind
outside.
using tilapia for aquaponics? What is it? What
The
makes that fish special?
the tilapia that they use are cheap. They eat
Oh,
a
okay,
lot and they
okay,
poop a lot. So they provide a lot of fertilizer in the water column for the roots of the plants.
okay. That's what it is. Okay, I was
They're
just curious.
not that good. I mean, some people like tilapia, but I mean, you try enough fish, tilapia is not really that much of a fish as
Well,
far as like
catfish isn't either, but
flavor.
everybody eats it.
Yeah.
I don't. I still can't get over that weird
Catfish is good
swampy.
when it's done when it's fried correctly in the
Catfish is good
south.
when you throw it in the trash can. That's when it's good.
Oh, shots fired.
Yeah,
Man,
that's
it's got to be fried right. Like
But
it's
then
got to be
again,
cleaned out where it doesn't taste like dirt and mud and shit.
I
In a
say that about
clean.
catfish, but I'll eat the water cockroach, which is the shrimp.
Oh yeah, right, right.
I'll eat that all day.
You'll eat the bottom feeder crustaceans.
Yeah. So,
You like what you like.
so much for what I have to say about, which fish tastes good and which tastes bad. Because I eat water cockroaches.
I
Yeah.
don't eat fish at all.
Oh, I do, man. You put me
I'm
in
not a
front
Yeah,
of some
seafood fan.
some
yeah,
sushi,
I eat a
I'm
lot of
going
ceviche,
down.
sushi, that kind of stuff. I'm not a big fan of either grilled or deep fried kind of fish.
Hmm.
But you cook it in lemon and make ceviche out of it. I'll eat that shit all day long.
Hmm. Yep. Yeah, that's really
Jose
good.
says tilapia tastes muddy.
See, that's what I think of catfish. That it tastes kind of muddy and
They both kind of do. It
yeah.
depends on the care of them. If they're put in a clean tank for a while and their gut systems are cycled through to where it cleans them out, it cleans the meat out as well. But a lot of people don't waste their time on that. And a lot of it has to do with how it's cooked too. So there's a lot of fish out there that
Yeah.
when you cook them, if you cook them at too high of a temperature, you're going to just release all of the oils, and those oils will start hitting a temperature where they're cooking out and gassing off too. And that's a lot of times where you get a foul taste when you're cooking fish. If you get a higher flash point oil and cook it at a lower temperature, a lot of the fish that you think taste kind of foul and that you don't like because it just tastes like the bottom of a lake, that will start to go away depending on how you do
Well,
it.
one of the things that we eat a lot down here, I don't know if the rest of Mexico does, but at least in the border region, is
Smoke it.
especially on the Pacific side, is stingray.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is, from what I understand, if it's not butchered correctly and cooked correctly, it'll taste like urea. Uh, so you got
Yeah.
to be real careful how it gets butchered, and so a lot of that also probably plays into when you're filleting fish and stuff like that. That
There's some animals that are that way as well. You cut
that you
into the
don't
wrong thing because you don't know what
rupture
you're
glands or
doing,
something in the
and
fish that'll
all the
release.
meat, your whole meat, is gonna taste like the digestive tract, or some part of the digestive tract, whether it be, stomach part or bladder part.
It also depends on how like it's. We'll go with like deer. I've had deer that has tasted just, I mean, gamey, wild, and then I've had other deer that taste like beef.
There's a couple reasons for that.
How they're
Um,
fed, how they're prepared, how they're cooked,
and how
whole
it, well,
nine.
a lot of it has to do with the process of them being processed. There's a lot of people will hit a deer, take it out, field dress it right there, get it ready, put it on ice, and call it ready to eat. Problem with that is every
Bruised.
animal when it dies releases rigor juices, rigor mortis. Those rigor juices need time to drain out of whatever it is that cold, before you go through and start cutting up the slabs of meat off of it. You want those rigor juices out of it. A really good process you can watch, the kosher method for meat, how they actually process the meat and stuff like that. It's the same with halal. Those methods I have a very nice attraction to. Even if I have to slaughter animals on the homestead, if I have to cull, something for protein here, I follow those methods like shachita. It's a beautiful experience for me if I have to. I'm a freaking hippie. Leave me alone.
So
But I
that's what
make
you guys
sure
are doing.
everything is right.
So I know what you guys are doing on Rumble. So where does the idea for your guys' latest venture, which is what is it, the
Aquatic News Network.
yeah, the aquatic news, how does that come about, and what's, because obviously it's you three guys. One of the things that I thought was really really interesting too that you guys are doing with that is giving the opportunity to other people that want to collaborate with you guys, and if they want to do a section or a clip or a piece of news. I thought that was
Bring it
really
on.
interesting. But go. Why
If
don't
you're
you walk
good,
us through? Why don't you walk us through the what happened, how this conversation gets started, and to where it's now?
Started out with a conversation between me and Tommy one night, and he was telling me what he wanted to do. I said, then why don't we do it? I said, why don't you do it? And then it turned into
and
we.
Jesse, we ended up having a conversation with Jesse as well, and we were going to go on to something else. And I was like, look, I've been holding on to this for 2 years. It's like, y'all want to pull the trigger on it? Y'all want to make it happen? Sorry, Jim, go ahead. You were
And,
explaining it a
we,
lot better.
we had the conversation, and then one day it was me, Tommy, and Jesse on a three-way phone call, and we had the entire brainchild put together right then and there. Tommy did the first segment because I guess me and Jesse were a little too chicken shit to do it. And then all of a sudden we decided to jump in, and here we are.
I was eager. I wanted it. I wanted it started right then and there. So I took that brainchild and was like, I'm making this right here, right now. I'm not stopping until it's done, and I am putting it out within this 24-hour span. And that's what I did. That's why it's a little bit more rustic. But
Doesn't Elon own part of Rumble? I don't think Elon Musk has anything to do with Rumble.
I don't think he does.
No.
No, he's got X. That's his baby.
Yeah,
I heard he bought MSNBC, though.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Um,
Good stuff.
but this is something that I believe, if done properly, this could grow huge.
So the idea for this is to do what, weekly like a weekly show? Is it a monthly show?
Weekly.
What's it's a weekly.
Yep, yep, a
We
weekly
got one
show.
coming out next Monday. We got one the following Monday.
I gotta get that as soon as we're done with this tomorrow. I'm gonna start working on getting all
Same
of it
here.
done. I've got like
Now,
the pages of all of it already ready, but
these are currently all pre-recorded though? That's kind of the idea because of the editing and stuff like that. That's not something you guys would take live, or would there ever
that's
be like a
my goal.
special?
That's
Okay.
my personal goal with it, is to get it to the point where we could actually start doing maybe a live segment on this maybe every 2 weeks. Like every second week, instead of it being a pre-recorded, we could do a live segment on it and just know, what we're going to be going over, so that way we know what to research and who it's going to be going to next. Like I go crazy pill on this, man. I go all out. Like I'll write out the script, and I'll even have it for these guys to where it's like, okay, it's going from you to B-roll, and then from B-roll to this person, so make sure you have, oh, thanks for that, Jim. Much appreciated. So that way, just to I add in as much of that flair and that genuine style of, Ron Burgundy or
I
whatever
was
you
gonna
want to
say.
call it, that news anchor style into it as I can. And that was the thing originally that I didn't see anybody doing. This originally in my head stemmed from losing our beloved Saturday morning cartoons. Shout out to Depths and Shanna. And the Aquatic Morning Show. When I very
Yeah, but
first saw the Aquatic Morning Show, that's what I thought it was going to be. I was like, Aquatic Morning Show? Is this like a news thing for fish? And it kind of was. She covered some new stuff in it, but it was more of like that, like really nice warm morning hangout kind of thing.
well, I think
And
the
I
problem.
was that seed was planted with that idea though, and I was like, nobody does the actual news on fish. A couple of people have tried, but they didn't take it seriously. They only made like small little short segment skits out of it, and even laughed at themselves with it. And I'm like, no, it can be done so much better, so much better. I got this. And it got to the point, honestly, where enough people were trying it. I had this thought go through my head to where I was like, if enough people try this and it fails miserably, everyone's going to give up on the idea. I was like, so if they're going to get to the point where they're going to see news or aquatic news and be like, oh, whatever, people have tried that, I'm not even interested in it at all, which some people may already be. But I wanted to try to, hit this nail on the head before it got to that point and be like, okay, I'm not letting another person try this. I am doing it. These guys are down to back me on it, to help me with it in the future. I am pulling the trigger, and with Jim and Jesse's help, it's really made it what it is. Being able to brainstorm with multiple people, and us even being able to cross-reference information, through personal phone calls and stuff like that about what's going on, and instead of it just being like, some channels that will just read Wikipedia and call that a segment on something, or just read off of a website.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that. I wanted to make it entertaining, make it funny in some way, have a little satire in there, and put as much as I could into it to capture as many people and as many audiences as I could without it being, I'll even throw political satire in there, but I make it to where it doesn't matter what side you're on, it's still funny. Like, you're still gonna laugh at it. I don't go like, way off the deep end on it. So I mean, obviously it's on YouTube, so I keep it sweet, but man, yeah. And yeah, having not just Jim and Jesse mostly, but even other people that are actually in the field and investigate this kind of stuff for a living and as their side job and things like that that I have to help and that are going to be helping with segments and that I can cross reference information on with as well. That's what helps me to know that I can actually bring something that's good information that's not just the same spew that everybody is doing on the internet, which is the barrier that I wanted to change about everything's been done. There's nothing left to do. Yeah, watch me. Watch this and watch what's next. Don't
Oh,
miss
it's
it.
going to get good. It's going to get real good. All right. So who's got the echo? Is it me or is it Tommy?
I think it's you, Jim.
Mute your mic, Tommy. It ain't me.
I had my microphone off. I could still hear it. I think it's somebody's tank bubbling.
No, I can hear myself in the background.
Oh, I don't
There's
hear
an
an
echo.
echo.
Yeah, I don't. It could be me. I don't know.
Try now, Jim.
Hello. I can't hear myself now. Barely.
It was me. It was my speakers. They were too loud. I have my mic sensitivity. I turned my mic sensitivity all the way up because it wasn't strong enough earlier. So it was able to, I guess, pick up the mic a little bit or the speakers a little bit.
I'm wondering if the water's me though. Oh, it's not me because you can hear water bubbling.
It's
Is
that,
that
one.
one?
It happens. Fellas,
That's
I
fine.
hate to
No,
do
no, no,
this
you're
to you,
good.
but I'm going to have to take me a little piddle break.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Do you hear it bubbling?
Not now. Yeah, that's fine. It doesn't bother me, but you were the one that was asking who had the water noise.
I can just hear an echo every now and then. And
Yeah,
it's my voice.
What I was going to tell Tommy is I think one of the downsides or the downfalls for a lot of these shows is that they try to do it either like a daily episode, and it's really hard, especially if you're just trying to do it specifically on the aquarium side, to be able to have pieces of news or articles and stuff like that that are out there without taking a really deep dive and getting real nerdy about it. So that's why I think doing it once a week is pretty smart. Even to every biweekly would probably be good because then it allows you to have a few stories. Uh, One of the things I was telling Tommy that would be interesting to see happen in the future, especially if you're doing like a weekly episode, you guys can come find out, or if you guys find out about any events that are going on, because I think that would be a great way to publicize events that are coming up during that week, whether it's in your local area or other events that you come across, because like a lot of the like the ALA, the big clubs like that, they do a horrible job of advertising, and unless you're part of those groups, half the times you don't even know when those events are going on, or if you don't hear other YouTubes talk about it, other YouTubers mention it or say something about it, half the times you don't even know what the hell's going on. And I know as many clubs as are out there and as many organizations, there's got to be a bunch of events. Like, for example, we have a big one that happens in Phoenix. It's called SAKE, the Southwest Aquarium Keepers event. And other than if you're really in that circle, you don't find out about it. And they're doing a little bit better job now because I've kind of helped them, promote it a little bit here locally and stuff like that. But doing stuff like that, I think is pretty cool. If you guys could find out, oh yeah, there's going to be this event here or there, even if it's just in your guys' local areas, that you guys find out a quick way to bring awareness to that, because there might be people that might be interested in going that didn't know that event was happening,
Right.
other than the big events.
Yeah, I've actually got one. I'm gonna be at this that I will more than likely 99%. I will be there this weekend. Is the Texas Aquatic and Reptile Expo in Irving, which is near
Dude,
Dallas. But
you're gonna have to film a piece for your show there, like reporting from from the scene.
I might, but I'll have the family with me as well. And I'm definitely the type of guy that there's so many moments that I won't
Yeah,
look through a lens through, you know?
yeah.
But I might. It depends. I may take my camcorder with me and get some footage because I think Papa Shrimp's going to be there. I'm pretty sure Papa Shrimp's going to be there. And Pile Aquatics, Mark Pyle, he's going to be there. So there'll be some people that, you know, we know for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that project, if you guys can sustain it, I think it's really going to be interesting and it's entertaining.
Yeah,
And I
and I
think
think your idea on keeping up with the shows and stuff like that is a great one. I mean, there's so many different types of segments that I want to add in this, and we're going to be putting different types of segments in different ones, you know, throughout. I'm not going to be able to. Unfortunately, I only have so much editing capacity that I can do with my
yeah,
setup, and I found out that's about 12 to 14 minutes.
yeah, that's what I was telling Jim. Even if you did it like bi-weekly, because it gives you a couple of weeks, but that also increases the amount of information that you'd have to be delivered in a bi-weekly
It's all there.
episode.
There's so much information that's there.
You
You just
just
gotta
have to look for
invest
it
the
and know where
time,
to look
yeah,
for
and
it.
invest the time into it, yeah.
Yeah,
That's the biggest thing is the investment of time into it, and then taking that information and instead of just reading it, turning it into a story.
yeah.
So, but that's fun to me. Like I like that kind of stuff. Like grew, I was a thespian. I liked being on stage and doing like improv stuff, things like that. So I mean, it's really fun to me. It's more fun than anything that I've done on any of the channels. I actually enjoy doing the news thing even more than I do the aliens and conspiracies.
And speaking of which, you guys, when does that show run?
It,
The one you guys do on Rumble, and what time?
oh, I need to change that actually. I'm glad you said that. I'll do it while we're talking. It is going to be at 5 p.m. Central today on Rumble on Resident Alien 86, all put together as one word.
You're you're muted, Jim. No, we can't hear you.
You hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Typically Wednesday, 8 p.m.
What?
Eastern,
Okay.
7
7
Central.
Central,
Every Wednesday.
every Wednesday.
Every
yeah.
Wednesday for months now we've done it. Some of
You
it's
guys do it?
weird, some of it's
Now,
gaudy, some of it's crazy, some of it's going to make you scratch your head and be like, what the heck are these guys on?
And it's a weekly show, right? You guys go
Oh, yeah.
every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday. We own it. We own it like Donkey Kong. Like flies
You
on
hear me now?
shit.
Yeah, we've been hearing you.
Okay. For some reason, my mic got turned off.
Yeah. Well, you had turned it off because you dipped out for something, and I think you forgot to turn it back on.
That's possible.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brandon. Brandon said he really enjoys the news segment a lot.
It is entertaining, and obviously the latest one was the back to Jesse. How can we not talk about that?
How can we not
And,
talk about Jesse and his underwear?
Yeah,
You know-
that was super funny. I thought that was because it's one of the, it kind of played perfectly into what you guys are trying to do, where it's a little bit lighthearted, kind of, presenting of the news.
And
fun.
there's beautiful backstory to that too. So the whole Jesse and his underwear thing, that was not planned. I didn't know he was doing that. I had sent him, the info on the script, who it was going to be going to, and then I'd said, like, I need like 30 seconds or something, 15, 30 seconds, however long you think it would take somebody to read this part of just you listening, to this part. This dude, y'all, this guy sends me the script, which is well done. I barely even had to edit anything out of it, which was like freaking, it took me 5 minutes to edit his parts in. Super easy. So that was awesome. He like took the assignment and nailed it. Then he had me just stare at him awkwardly for 2 minutes and 57 seconds of him just doing that. And then it just cuts over to him in his underwear. So I'm going through this like, what is he doing? What is this? And then I see him in his underwear. What the shit? I mean, I'm like, this is perfect. I'm using this. This is absolutely perfect.
Well, he also likes to be performative, which is it plays perfectly into what you guys are doing.
Absolutely.
It just
Absolutely. That jives and vibes with me
it was
for
a
you
perfect
new
bookend to that
hipsters.
whole
Very-
episode because you had the more serious note, and then you top it off with Jesse, just kind of similar personality to you. So I thought that was brilliant. I thought that was really really good. It just obviously it's going to be something that you're not going to be able to do every single episode based on what you're doing, but it's definitely one of those things where people now are going to be paying a little bit more attention to see what off unexpected, I guess, would be
Yeah.
the,
Yeah,
the thing.
and
What
like on this last episode, there was something that we were doing that wasn't in that, and that was like the weekly update on people, in the world of FishTube. So I think that's gonna be one of those rotating segments that comes in, along with I don't know who's gonna do. I think it was Jim, right, that was wanting to do like the like Peter Griffin style, like oh my, what really grinds my gears, y'all. Like a grinds my gears segment, a rant segment. Like there's a few other segments like this that I'm wanting to throw in and do a rotation on. That way you still know that it's going to be news, it's going to be entertainment, there's going to be updates. My biggest focus is on new development with species, endangered species, and the conservation of those species. So that is my biggest focus on anything. If I'm going to wake up anybody's mind or, get some gears moving on something, that's what that is. But having these other rotated segments in, I think will keep it a lot more entertaining as well, because it gives you that idea of, so what's next week gonna be?
I'm looking forward to doing a misinformation segment as well.
You gotta do that, man. That's gonna be awesome, and I will help you with any step of it that you want.
Oh,
You know
shoot,
that.
I can't do it on here. I got to do it on. I'm trying to post the link for Jose for your episode, but I put it on the wrong platform because
Yeah,
it
it's
won't
the
hyperlink it. It won't
Monday
hyperlink
Morning News episode 3.
Yeah, I'll just drop the link right now. I mean, I
You
got
also
it here.
got
I
the
just
short as well.
Yeah, it was a lot better than the blooper in the second one. Definitely
come on.
beat that one out.
Welcome in, Jeff.
Computer's
up,
doing
Jeff?
all kinds of things.
Oh shit, I didn't see Gordon was here. What's
Oh.
up, Gordon?
Let's see, paste. Oh, it did hyperlink it. Oh, it did.
I see it in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. I thought you couldn't do it from StreamYard. I guess they must have changed that recently. Because I knew you had to go and do it on the actual YouTube site.
Making people do things
I used
all
to post them on-
manually.
I used to post them on StreamYard all the time. They were going right through.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, it worked. It went directly to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you want to get into doing some segments to keep people engaged. You want to make sure that your audience retention stays there, and sometimes you got to add some humor because if
Well,
you're just, if you're Ben Stein all the time, people are going to get bored and click on.
Well,
And
that's what I like.
rewatchability.
It strikes a good balance in between, like the three personalities. Tommy, we know Tommy is,
freaking
you know,
weird.
weird, and then
Off
you're a
the
little
wall.
bit more serious, and then you get Jesse, who can, you don't know which Jesse you're gonna get.
He's
whether
the
it's
wild
serious
card.
Jesse- Yeah, he can do the serious thing, and he can also be performative. And
Yeah.
that was definitely, and
Oh,
he
crap,
did
what
that really
happened?
good in that section because he was very serious about what he was talking about, and then you get that glimpse into his performative side of the whole thing. So I thought that was brilliantly done. I thought it was well executed. So I think I'm hopefully you guys can keep it up, because I think you do have something really good on your hands that'll be very entertaining.
I think it's going to take off. I think it's going to be huge.
I do too. I'm just replugging in my camera at the moment.
It's going to be huge, people. Huge. Big things are going to be done. Never done before in the history of mankind. It's going to be huge.
That's the link, Jose, for
It
that
will be
for that
bigger than
episode.
China.
Well, guys, is there
There
any
we go.
other projects you guys are working on independently? Are you okay? I guess the question is, Tommy, you're pretty much other than the news network, you're pretty much completely off of YouTube, correct?
Correct.
Okay. How about you, Jim? Are you still doing both, or are you?
So the surgery has put me back a little bit. I haven't been in the fish room. I'm almost to the point to where I'm able to get rid of this damn walker. Once I'm rid of this walker, I can get back in the fish room. I can start recording videos again.
Hallelujah.
I am going to post them between Rumble and YouTube.
Okay.
I am probably going to focus more on trying to get both of them where I want them. I want 1,000. I want 1,000 subs on my channel. I'm not going to lie to you. It pisses me off when I see channels that have mediocre content that don't really show anything, and they have thousands of subscribers. And I mean, like
Well,
52
okay.
videos,
But
53,
here's the thing,
and
though.
there's like
You,
nothing there. And that's in the
so
fish
they,
hobby as well.
so you don't get despaired about that. There's a big difference between thousands of subscribers and real subscribers, and you can tell right away because it just correlates. If you look, it's somebody that's got 50,000 subscribers, but you go watch what their views look like on their videos, and they only have 10 or 20. That's a clear indication that you should know exactly what's going on, because there's got to be a correlation between organic growth and this whole boosted growth that has been trending lately. And it's not just the small channels that are doing this. This is something that has been being brought to light, that it's even some of the bigger channels that you and I know that are doing it. And now they're griping about the fact that they're not getting the views that they were hoping to get, because it's the whole thing with YouTube. It's different sections that you have to be able to hit. It's not
Yeah.
just it's not just watch hours, it's not just subscribers. It's you really have to use the entire spectrum that YouTube offers, and you have to do a little bit of everything. Now, when it comes to
The more you
trying to
give,
get
the more you'll get
monetized,
back.
and trying to and hitting that 1,000 subscribers for your watch hours, you got to do the evergreen videos, and that's going to be your longer form videos.
My
You're
goal is to hit 1,000 by the end of the month on the news network. Seriously.
Yeah, and
1 month.
and that's because what's the point of having all these subscribers but you don't have the watch hours, so you can't get monetized because nobody's watching the videos.
Because I'll have
Or
the people there to actually see the videos.
yeah, or you have all the watch hours but you don't have the subscribers. So it's one of those things. Unfortunately, it takes time,
I was at
and the reality is,
3,980 watch hours.
yeah, the reality is it's going to be consistent work for about 3 to 4 years of doing regular content before you start hitting some of those those thresholds and be able to stay there. But what's going to keep you there is going to be your older videos that you're doing. And the reason I know that is because
They're
if
seasoned.
you look at my analytics,
Yeah.
videos that when I first released didn't get a lot of views, but people go back and watch them, especially if they're like information videos where you're teaching somebody how to do something or you're answering a question that they have. This is where I'm starting to understand the whole thing that Funk's always telling me about. You got to do those how-to videos or the explain, not necessarily top
That's why.
tens.
That's exactly why I was saying I'm going to be doing them on the Aquatic News Network channel as well.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be those same how-tos and top tens and what have you, etc. Insert video that every channel has here, but it'll be from our perspective and done in a different way. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's absolutely important to do. That's building up your catalog. And
and the
you
thing
have to
is,
have a catalog. If you're going to
what
make any
I've
kind of claim, you need to have a catalog to back it up.
yeah, and what I've learned is that the way these mechanisms are set up on YouTube is like if you really wanted to increase your subscriber counts real quick, shorts are going to get you a lot of subscribers.
Oh, yeah.
They
My
get you,
old
but they don't
channel
get you
was the
views.
evidence of that.
Yeah, they don't get you views, and they don't get you watch hours.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the problem.
Yep.
Uh, and you don't necessarily get a lot of repeat people coming over to watch it, but you do get a lot of subscribers.
Yep.
You can do these live streams, and you'll get your hours, but you won't get the subscribers because usually it's going to be the same people that already know you coming to watch these videos. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm saying. You have to be able to play in all the different apparatuses.
Rewatchability. You got to
What's
have
that?
rewatchability.
Yeah.
There's got to be stuff in there where they're like, "Oh wait, I missed this. I got to go back and what was that? What did I miss out of that?" Like that really does it. That's my whole intention behind the banners.
All your
Like
banners
every
are fucking
banner,
up.
there's some that are factual and some of them that are just goofy as hell and some of them that are pure satire.
Yeah.
So if you've only listened to those episodes, I urge you go back and watch it. Trust me, it's worth it.
So this is one thing that's actually going to happen to the Happy Place Aquatics YouTube channel. I am going to branch out to other content creators, and I'm not talking just in the fish hobby.
Mm-hmm.
I am working on one right now that he is the most influential. He's one of the biggest channels that you can see on YouTube right now. He is known as the top agricultural influencer in the world. And I'm not going to give his name, but I'm working on a guy to get him there. And if it happens, it's going to be great for my channel. The dude has somewhere I thinking close to 6 million followers on YouTube.
Yeah, like agricultural maintenance, not
Correct.
yeah,
Me and you talk about it, Tommy. I told you who
yeah,
it was.
yeah.
So I'm working on that. I'm gonna do the Jim's Cars thing on Rumble is gonna be that's gonna be one that's gonna be wild because I'm actually gonna bring in other mechanics to talk, like have mechanics on live streams. Like I
No,
know it.
you
Look,
could
I'm a
totally
master
get
tech.
Aussie for that too.
I'm a master tech. I know two technicians right now that make me look like a fucking lube tech, and
Mm-hmm.
that's saying a lot because there's not a lot about a car I don't know. These dudes make me look like a lube tech.
Isn't it great when you meet those people?
I
Like
love
you're
both of
like
these.
so high on your own pinnacle, like I am so good at this, and you're like, now I feel like a child.
These are the only two guys. There's a third guy that I will trust to work on my car. Okay, other than myself, there's three guys. One guy's name is Brian. The other guy is his name is Jim. Believe it or not, another Jim. Imagine that. And the other one is Jay. He's my boss. Those are the only three people I would trust to work on my car. Everybody else, you ain't touching it. I'll rather let it sit broke down in the driveway. So I'm going to do that segment. So I got a lot on my table that I want to do, along with the other information that you guys know. So,
Yeah.
me and you talked about it last night, George. Tommy already knows he was actually the first one to know. So
That's gonna be a fun channel, man. And I think the greatest thing about it is that it's another release, another way for you to be creating content and be truly you. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's going to be fun. But I really do want to branch out and do some other things.
Mm-hmm.
Is what I'm going to do. And I had somebody tell me
We're
that
peacocks. You gotta let us fly.
I had somebody tell me that if I branched out on Happy Place Aquatics and did other content creators from different hobbies, that it would kill my channel. I don't think it will. I think it'll actually help.
You know what? It's your channel, dude. It's like your adage. What you always tell people is
It's your hobby, do it your way.
Do it your way.
I'm finding out that if people are interested, they're gonna watch. If they're not gonna watch. You can't force people to continue to do one thing or another. If you bring on people that are interesting, it doesn't matter. I'm thinking about like Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, you can't say he's a comedy, podcast. He's not a scientific podcast. He's not a political, but yet he brings in all these different people from these areas, and they're interesting. I watch, and I know millions of people watch. So
Oh yeah, I do
to
too.
say that that is wrong, how can they say that if there's already somebody out there that's doing similar to that, and a lot of other channels that are copying that format? I'm
Yeah.
being one of them by doing these interviews like this, is basically taking inspiration from that. And
Joe Rogan perfected being a bro and hanging out with the bros
well,
and put
I
it in
wouldn't
video
say it's
form
not
and
necessarily
made
a
it
bro.
comfortable for a lot of people.
It's not being a bro. What it is, he demonstrate that you can do whatever the fuck you want to do if you believe in it. And
Yeah, that's very
and if
true.
you, and if you can make it where it's interesting conversation, people are gonna watch. And it doesn't matter
Yeah.
who you have on as a guest. If the person is interesting and they have something interesting to say, people are gonna watch.
Yeah. And you know, and he perfectly proves that sometimes even not even being off on topic and just going with whatever is happening during the process and running with it and letting that blossom into something as well, which is
Yeah.
something that I really like in streams. I like, you know, if I'm like really just trying to gather information, I want it just all technical. But for the most part, I want to see people, you know, screwing off and stuff like that with their buddy as well, whoever they're talking to. Like, not just, oh yeah, I know every scientific name of every type of insect that's on in Timbuktu. You know, you can't miss me on those. But I don't know. I don't know. I guess it's more on the delivery.
You know what, man? I wouldn't be sitting here today on this camera if it wasn't for the one gentleman that brought me into this. And that gentleman is Jesse. Jesse's the one that walked me through the whole live streaming shit. He walked me through it hand in hand, you know. I wouldn't like some of the fish and build some of the things I have without like Joey from the King of DIY or Corey from Aquarium Co-op, you know what I mean? A lot of these guys have been influences in my channel. Now, I've been
Right.
watching this other gentleman, that one I'm talking about bringing on here, and if I ever decide to open a farm, this guy will be the guy that I watch 24/7.
Hmm.
This guy has more information about a certain, you know what? It is what it is, man. It's the Hoof GP. Look him up. Dude's got like
Fair
6 million
Oh,
enough.
okay.
followers.
Yeah.
Videos have got 3, 4 million views. The dude is wholesome. There's nobody shaking their ass. He's doing a very informative video on how to take care of an animal. He is the world's highest influencer in the agricultural world.
And God knows we need more people out there taking care of animals.
Correct. You
So
know, the dude,
great, great thing to get into as well.
and it's going to be great for the ladies too because his accent's going to make them melt.
Oh yeah.
You know, that
Oh, so
Scottish accent. He's got nice eyes. Good looking dude.
you're gonna disguise Noisy as the hoof
Not at
doctor?
all.
Is that what you're doing?
No, I can't put a Scottish accent on
No,
noise.
this one lays it on thick, laddie.
Yeah, I'm here lassie. You know, you got to think about. You know, we all got in this hobby for one reason or another. Went down a rabbit hole during COVID. I already had a fish tank set up. You know, went down a rabbit hole, ran into a Corey from Aquarium Co-op on Facebook, which led to K&G Tropicals, which led
Yeah.
to Prime Time, led to the King of DIY, led to actually you. I think we're one of the first live streams that I actually watched was one of yours. And I met Jesse, I believe, in one of the comment sections.
Hmm.
And that's how I ended up on here. You know, the dude is one of the biggest supporters of my channel I've ever seen. You know what I mean? He's in almost every live. Hell, the guy sends me products. You know what I mean? He is one of the biggest supporters of my channel, and I appreciate it. You know,
Yeah.
he's got some things coming to him as soon as I'm able to. You know, I got some fish he wants. He's going to receive them. You know, so
Yeah,
I
and
don't.
that's one of the
Yeah,
things that Sean and I were talking about. Unfortunately, there is a lot more good that happens in this community,
been
but
bad.
it seems like the very few bad things that happen are the ones that get highlighted and explode, and they're the ones that are brought up to the forefront. But like I was telling Sean, I could almost say that 99% of all my interactions with everybody in the community has been very pleasant. Very
Mhm.
few and far between have been one of those where it's kind of like, I wish I had not,
Hmm.
Man,
dealt
I
with
thought one of the
this.
most hostile ones I was going to have was because of the issue between two content creators. Was when I had Funk on my channel. I thought it was going to be bad, and I was going to have to kick people out. You know what I mean? It turned out to be a great live stream. You know, the
Yeah,
dude's goofy. He's got his personality shines. I mean, he does what Funk does, and that is shine. Let me tell you.
Funk is funk.
yeah. And like I said, my interactions, and I've had a lot of interactions with just like I've always said, I've been very fortunate because I guess of what I'm doing that I get to interact with a lot of people of the community, and it's never been bad. It really hasn't been bad. And we
Yeah.
might have had some differences on some things,
Hmm.
and we might
That's
not
gonna
agree.
happen.
Yeah, we might not agree on things, but it doesn't. It never goes beyond just a disagreement, and that's it. For the for about everything else, it's been good. It's been a very pleasant experience. I've never thought about, oh, I don't want to do this anymore because of something that happened.
Hmm.
I've been very fortunate in that aspect that a lot of my experiences have been very, very positive. And like I said, almost every single person that I've had a conversation with or anything like that are very generous when it either comes to their information or the things that they're willing to do for you. And
Yeah,
it's
you spend enough
overall,
time around anybody, and you're gonna, find something that you disagree with. And it's just like with this, you're gonna come across some people you're gonna have disagreements with. I've definitely done it.
yeah.
I think we all have at this point if you've been a part of the community for long enough. I'm kind of the black
I
sheep of the
feel
community, but
I feel like when I came into
Well,
this,
I don't
I was welcomed
I don't
openly.
even yeah, I don't think that's necessarily true, Tommy. I mean, uh I know plenty of people that you and I interact with, and they think very highly of you. I don't see that being an issue.
well, that's good.
Um,
I think pretty highly of myself, not to sound conceited in any way, shape, or form, but I mean, I hold myself to a pretty high standard, so I appreciate that.
yeah. You
Like
were saying something, Jim, and I cut you off.
I
Sorry.
was I was welcomed into this hobby with open arms, and one of the first people that were actually in my live stream was Garcia. You know what I mean? Garcia,
Boito.
Berto was in here just, I mean, getting at it. In my comments section saying, hey, people, like and subscribe. I was on a bunch of his live streams. He got me a bunch of subscribers. I mean, same goes for Tommy, same goes for you. You guys have all got me people here. You know what I mean? So I appreciate it. But like as far as like people who are always in our live streams, a bunch of you guys are always there. We appreciate you, but you got your faithful ones. You got T. She never misses one of our live streams, and if she does, she is mad as hell. You know that as well as I do, Tommy. Mystic Pets gets pissed if she misses our live stream. I don't care if it's
She didn't.
like
She
our
didn't get
personal
a
one.
notification for one of them, and sent me a message like WTF, what
Oh
the
yeah,
heck happened? How did I miss this? Why did I miss this? What is life? I get it. There's
she's
still some people that I can't comment on their stuff.
same here.
Even unfortunately, one of the people that owns this channel or owns the Aquatic News Network, that channel can't comment on his, and that's
I
Jesse.
I can't comment
Cannot
on
comment
yours.
on his content or
I
on his
can't comment on either
shorts.
one of you guys.
Why?
I don't know.
Email me, Hoggins.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, you read that too.
Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I've got my email on the post for the news network. That comes
Oh, okay, for
directly
the
to
news
me.
now.
I'll see it.
Well, gentlemen, anything else you guys want to share before we jump off of here?
More than a
Every
billion
Wednesday
things.
night, come see
Absolutely,
us, Resident
100%.
Alien.
So you guys will be going
It's
tonight. Now,
5.5 more
which
hours.
is it? Just your live stream, Jim, that they can see the first hour on YouTube and then it jumps over, or is this one also one of those?
It
Nope,
used
just
to be,
mine.
but not anymore. Since I switched it over to the Aquatic News Network, it has no affiliation with the YouTube channel or with
Okay.
the Rumble channel. They're completely
I am the
separate.
one that does the first hour, and then the second hour is Rumble only. And I got to get back to that. I know it upsets some people, and I know people are afraid to jump over to a different platform because they get it's a lot of work, but it's going to happen.
Well, but at least you're allowing people to still interact for about an hour before you jump off and go over there. So I mean, it's you know, I think it's smart of you doing it that way. It's catering to both of your content platforms that you have. So
Hmm.
it is what it is. I mean, again, you're free to do whatever the frick you want.
Absolutely. And I will continue
So
to do whatever I want. That's why it's my hobby and I do it my way.
exactly. Well, with that being said, gentlemen, again, just so that in case somebody that's not familiar with you guys, where can they find you? How can they find you? So if you want to start off, Tommy.
Yeah, the Aquatic News Network on YouTube. Take out the, just Aquatic News Network. Here on YouTube, if you're interested in fish hobby, fish news updates of all different types of segments and genres involving that is both entertaining and fulfilling, guaranteed, or your money back. And if you want something a little more crazy and insane, which is the more demented side of mine and Jim's brain and our birth child that we've had on the internet, you'd want to check out Resident Alien 86 on Rumble.
You, Jim?
I guarantee you on that one that your brain will become scrambled eggs.
You've got me. I'm over at Happy Place Aquatics on YouTube. You can find me as well on the Aquatic News Network. You can find me on Rumble at Happy Place Aquatics. You can also find me Resident Alien 86 on Rumble and Jim's Cars on Rumble.
All right. With that being said, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today. Chat, as always, thank you so much for your
We did this
support.
out of sympathy and because he paid us a lot of money.
A lot of money.
No, we freaking love you, man.
I didn't realize a penny was a lot of money, but okay.
It is to me. Especially
Well,
when I
guys-
just got paint on my suit, so now I have to replace it.
No, not good.
That's
All
what
right,
I was
guys,
having
well,
a conniption fit about earlier, going,
if you want to get more of these two guys, make sure you guys you go check them out tonight. And to that, I'll see you guys on Friday. Jesse Salient Aquatics is going to be my guest for Friday evening. So just so that you guys are aware, and hopefully see you guys then.
Thank you
Later.
for having us.
later, y'all. Y'all freaking
Adios.